welcome to the Union County Heritage Museum. This is a very special Sunday afternoon program of Beyond the Tracks. This is the 30th anniversary of our museum, and so we have been presenting an almost weekly musical series where we've invited local musicians to come in and put on a show. And so this is our largest group ever in audience and in performers. So we're really excited to have the Bennett family here. And I will let Steve continue with the introduction. Thank you.
Thank you, Leanne. It is fun for us to be here. I think we'll sing a signature song to begin this with, okay? Let's sing that signature song today. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Charlie. Happy birthday to you. He's not 44. It is fun for us to be together. You know, here we like to tie everything into something from our collection, and one of our biggest collections is a gentleman named William Faulkner. And the museum boasts to have that birth site property as part of our very own, but also some wonderful books and wonderful tributes to him. Let me tell you what he said about music. He said, "I would say that music is the easiest means in which to express. But since words are my talent, I must try to express clumsily in words what the pure music would have done better." Isn't that great? I thought, well, Mr. Faulkner, you got all sentimental there. Leanne said that earlier too. And it wasn't a 4-page long sentence, was it either? Our family, our mom and dad were Charlie and Clytie Bennett, and they have gone on to be with the Lord several years ago. But with us, they've left a legacy of the love of music. So when we were growing up, as everybody can kind of attest to, not always, but if we were together, we were singing for some reason or another. If it was working, we were singing. If we were cleaning out the refrigerator for Mom, we were singing along with it. If we were playing games, we would stop and sing a song. If we were sad, we would sing. If we were happy, we would sing. And so music plays a major role in our lives that we love. And most of us have been in choir at least, if not led music and play an instrument. And so it's been great to be in a musical family. I don't know if you all remember, but we had 2 old player pianos growing up. 2, I don't know why. Maybe they came 2 for the price of 1 if you just get it out of my basement, right? But the pianos did not have the player parts in them, but they still played beautifully. And y'all tell me, what happened one night when we had one of them redone? Do y'all remember that story?
Yeah. There was a gentleman that came to our home and redid the piano. He worked on it all night long. And then he played it, I don't know what kind of music it was because I was pretty young, but he played that piano beautifully. But he was there all night long, refinishing the keys and doing all kinds of things to it to make it where it would play.
And we woke back up and had a singing.
Yeah.
Because we were waiting vigilantly for him to finish.
And if I was young, Steve was really young because I'm 8 years older than he is. But one day he was playing that piano, and our brother-in-law, Dave Davidson, said, "I think it sounds like he can actually play that thing." That was from a very young age, so he plays beautifully.
We're missing Dave's sister, but There are still Dave's wife, not his sister, but his wife. Our sister, Pat, and she's in heaven now, and but she's still with us, still part of us. And our sister Wanda is not here; she's in Memphis on this Father's Day. But we would love for us all to be together, but we are in spirit today. So maybe we'll share some other things as we go along. Let's sing one today for a bit. Till the storm passes by. Till the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. In the dark of the midnight have I oft hid my face, while the storm howls above me, and there's no hiding place. Mid the crash of the thunder, precious Lord, hear my cry. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. Till the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. Many times Satan whispers, there is no use to try, for there's no end of sorrow, and there's no hope by and by. But I know thou art with me, and tomorrow I'll rise, where the storms never darken the skies. Till the storm passes over, till the thunder sounds no more, till the clouds roll forever from the sky. Hold me fast, let me stand in the hollow of thy hand. Keep me safe till the storm passes by. Amen. The old rugged cross. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange its when the roll is called up yonder, somebody tell me where yonder is. In the South, that's quite the word, isn't it? But I think in this case, maybe it's heaven. All right, good. When the roll is called up yonder. When the trumpet of the Lord shall sound and time shall be no more, and the morning breaks eternal, bright and fair, when the sacred of earth shall gather over on the other shore, when the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, 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 I'll be there. On that bright and cloudless morning, when the dead in Christ shall rise, and the glory of his resurrection share, when his chosen ones are gathered to their home beyond the skies, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, 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 I'll be there. Let us labor for the Master from the dawn to setting sun. Let us talk of all his wondrous love and care. Then when all of life is over and our work on earth is done, and the roll is called up yonder, I'll be there. When the roll is called up yonder, 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 I'll be there. All right. Oh, y'all can clap. It'll give me a chance to breathe. In the 40s, maybe, y'all can correct me, but our parents moved to Detroit, Michigan. And is that right? In the 40s, probably? Right? Was it about that time in the 40s? And so they were in a church with dear friends of ours in World War II. During World War II. So they're in church with some dear friends of ours, Glenn and Louise Baker, who were not related to us, but we always call them Uncle Glenn and Aunt Louise. And all of their children were missionaries around the world, and all 5 of them. And so they were very dear to us, but they took our parents in, or they all 4 took each other in, and that's where our dad came to know the Lord, was in Detroit, Michigan, in a church up there. And Dad loved to sing. He sang tenor. Mom loved to sing, but we're not really sure what she sang. Yes, all over the place.
She sang also.
Yes, she sang also. But they certainly passed it, the love of it to us, for sure. But we have a signature song that we love to sing, and it's "I'll Fly Away." So maybe you'll sing along with us even at home too. Some glad morning when this life is o'er, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. Just a remember, I don't know what Mom and Dad did for after breakfast when all of you were growing up, but when I was growing up, Mom did morning devotionals at the breakfast table. She had this little book called Our Daily Bread, and she would read from it, and she would pray with us, and then we'd go about our day. And but when we were growing up, pastors and evangelists, missionaries were always in our home for dinner, during revivals or meetings or whatever. Our parents loved church staff people. They loved missionaries and evangelists and singers and their pastor. And I think that they instill that love in us too, to respect and honor and love those people too. And so I remember standing at the table. I'm about this age, okay? That's how old I was. And I'm standing by our pastor, Brother Burrell, in Skeen, Mississippi. And we have friends that watch or follow some of us on Facebook from Cleveland and Clarksdale and all down in the Delta where we were raised. But Brother Burrell is sitting there, and Miss Anna Kate, his wife, and the missionary or the evangelist, and then Mom and Dad were there, and there's food left over on the table. We had just had a meal, and they were talking. And so that's what we grew up with, that kind of revering those folks and loving them, knowing they were humans too, and had that fun time with all of them. They invested in us, and our parents certainly invested in them too. I know these others may have a memories at some point that they want to share. Daddy's favorite hymn was Blessed Assurance. Did you want to say part of that story?
I just wanted to tell that one time Daddy was in the hospital, and I kind of think it was toward the end of his life, but he did get to go home and finish his life at home. And he, we were singing in the room where he was in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And so they decided that they would move Daddy to the end of the hall because we probably were making too much noise. So they did that, and they let us sing all we wanted to, and he was in a room at the end of the hall there, and we had a lot of fun singing, and you finished that story.
I'll tell a little
Yeah.
bit. I think
Okay.
there were 30 people in that hospital room, to be honest, way more than would be allowed now. We had quite the harmonies going, and we became known in the hospital as the singing family. So you can take it from
Well,
there.
I just remember when Daddy couldn't call our names, when he didn't know who we were, and we would begin singing, he would mouth the words,
Mhm.
and this big smile would come on his face. I remember one time Jenny walked in, and Daddy couldn't call any sibling's name, but he said, "Well, Jenny, bless your heart," and a daughter-in-law at that time. And so, the ravages of sickness can't keep you from singing these great old spiritual truths, can they?
I think it was Jennifer that noticed in the hospital that
I remember that day.
we saw his
As
mouth.
a kid, I was singing
Yeah.
with you all, but I grew up just admiring and being able to sing with my family.
Yeah.
It's just always been our thing. And during that time, it was even more special.
She noticed his mouth was moving, and all of a sudden we kind of leaned in, and he was mouthing the words to Blessed Assurance, Jesus is mine.
Blessed assurance, Jesus is mine. Oh, what a foretaste of glory divine, heir of salvation, purchased of God, born of His Spirit, washed in His blood. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. Let's sing it a little higher. Perfect submission, perfect delight, visions of rapture now burst on my sight. Angels descending, bring from above echoes of mercy, whispers of love. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. Perfect submission, always at rest. I in my Savior am happy and blessed, watching and waiting, looking above, filled with His goodness, lost in His love. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. This is my story, this is my song, praising my Savior all the day long. I was trying to think at our mom's funeral when she passed away. Of course, it was another gathering of folks right at her passing too. Do y'all remember that? We gathered around her bed and prayed with her on into glory. And but we'd sing for her as well, even though she could not hear or understand us as far as we knew. She knew we'd want us to be doing that.
Oh, we were in intensive care for we. sang.
Yes, in intensive care
With her.
with her. I'm sorry, I can't find that little phrase, but at our mom's funeral, our brother-in-law Herb, Wanda's husband, quoted from a hymn that truthfully to us had expressed what our mom was. But her favorite song was Great Is Thy Faithfulness. Now, after their passing and going through all of the stuff, the treasures, not junk, but treasures, I think it was Karen and Eloise, put together a memory box for all of us. So on that memory box on the outside it says Blessed Assurance and a picture of Mom and Dad and Great Is Thy Faithfulness. And then the treasures were on the inside. I think all the guys got a silver dollar and maybe a pocket knife. A tube of Neosporin ointment. Daddy believed in that like the guy on My Big Fat Greek Wedding did. Windex will cure anything, well so would Neosporin. He carried it in his pocket.
Along with his remote control.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, we got a remote control.
Yes, we got remote controls in the memory boxes and
And a tie.
jewelry for the sisters. And then did you all have those pins made? Out of our grandmother's rocker, it was taken and given rocker or table?
Rocker.
It was her rocking chair that was turned into an ink pen for all of us. Beautiful. Treasured all of those things. But on the outside was Blessed Assurance and Great Is Thy Faithfulness. And then on their tombstone? Does it say blessed assurance? That's what all right, enough talking about death and dying, but you know, we rejoice even in those things because we have that hope. Great is thy faithfulness was Mom's favorite. Great is thy faithfulness, O God, my Father. There is no shadow of turning with thee. Thou changest not, thy compassions they fail not. As thou hast been, thou forever wilt be. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. I think we need to go a little higher on that one. Summer and winter and springtime and harvest, sun, moon, and stars in their courses above, join with all nature in manifold witness to thy great faithfulness, mercy, and love. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. Pardon for sin and the peace that endureth, thine own dear presence to cheer and to guide, strength for today and bright hope for tomorrow. Blessings all mine with 10,000 beside. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness. Morning by morning, new mercies I see. All I have needed, thy hand hath provided. Great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness, great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me. More memories? Anybody out there, family?
Can I tell one?
Tell one.
The only two people that could play the piano among my brothers and sisters was Steve and Wanda. And they both play so beautiful. And I've tried to learn how to play. I've tried to teach myself how to play. I could just not get it out. You know. I would sit down.
Stick to the radio.
Yeah. But God gave me a a natural alto voice,
He
and,
did.
and so, one time I had surgery on my throat, and after it was over with, I didn't think I could sing anymore, but I did, and I got well from that, but, God has just, provided all this family with music and, voices to sing for the Lord.
Wanda sings alto. She sings strong alto, and then Pat sang soprano, very high soprano, and she would
Oh, yeah.
sing at Clarksdale Baptist Church in the choir. Did Daddy and Pat sing in the same choir?
I'm not sure, but I wanted to get in that choir, but they wouldn't let me.
Yeah.
Only time I went over though.
Anyone else have thoughts or memories?
Well, I was just thinking how neat it is that the love of music has passed down to the next generations and the
Yeah.
next.
No. Yes. Sure.
As well.
Our nieces and nephews.
Yes.
Why don't you all introduce yourselves and tell like where you fit into the family?
Okay. We'll go by age then, so, so I can be grand and last. Or, no. Well, Pat, so she was born in 1938,
38.
okay, and
And
then Wanda,
Wanda.
Yeah, Wanda, I think was born in, 40.
1940.
okay, all right,
And, I was born in 1942, I'm the third to the oldest.
and your
I'm
name?
the only odd one in the family.
No, you're not either. You're not either. But what's your name?
There's several.
Oh, excuse me, Eloise,
All right.
and they all call me Weezy.
We call her Wheezing. Right?
I think I will next.
Yeah.
You're next.
I'm Mike. I was born in 1945.
And I'm Charlie, and I'm right smack dab in the middle, born in 1950, June the 20th.
20 to
20 to June.
20 to June.
Yeah, that's it.
Which is today.
And I'm Lynn Bennett Wilkerson, and I was born in 1953. I'm number 6.
I'm Karen Hall. I'm number 7. I was born in 1957. And before, well, it was right after the twins were born. I was 7th, and then Mom and Dad had the twins. And one year, I think it was the year they were born, I came home from Sunday school singing happy birthday to myself. They had all forgotten my birthday.
Which happened often, because January 1st.
Yes, right after Christmas.
Yeah.
Yes, they were
Birthdays-
probably busy changing diapers.
Yeah, birthdays were not a big deal in our family, were they? Because there were so many of them.
Yes.
There was one every week practically.
I'm David, and I was born in 1961, and I'm the 8th child.
And I'm Steve, and I was born in 1961 minus 7 minutes after David was born. The others want to tell who you are and how you fit in?
So I'm probably the oldest grandchild up here. My dad, Charlie, number 5 in the kids, right? 5. I'm Jennifer, so, and I'm not telling how old I am.
When you're our age. you can-
But I am the oldest of the grandkids up here, right now.
I'm Erin Wilkerson, belong to Lynn.
Josh Wilkerson, belong to Lynn as well.
Devin, belong to David. I'm the youngest grandson.
You're the oldest, youngest grandson.
And I'm Jesse Wilkerson, and this is my father and grandma.
Great grandson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Devin, introduce.
And this is Emily. She's not a Bennett.
But glad that she's here. And then with us, we have sister-in-laws and nephews and nieces and great nieces and nephews and did I say it all? Friends of family and so glad that everybody is with us. Any other memory or thought until then?
I always remember the biscuits.
The biscuits, yeah.
Whose business?
Mother could make good biscuits.
And all the grandkids playing in the hallway, the tiny hallway.
Yeah.
Every one of us crammed in the hallway.
And the piano sat center of the living room, and somebody, Wanda or Steve, would start playing, and then that was the cue for all of us to go in the living room and start singing.
Josh, you should tell the story of you and Audrey at the funeral.
You're gonna have to remind me which story that is. Because there was a lot of them.
I remember it when our mom passed away, Audrey and Josh were engaged to be married. Audrey's sitting over there. And she came to the funeral and she leaned over to Josh and said,
No, she went over to Matt. It was Matt.
"Oh, that story. I'm telling another story."
And you're telling a story we don't know yet, so.
Okay, I'll tell this
I
story.
might have just messed it up.
That's okay. Anyway, she leaned over to Josh and said, "I wanna have 9 kids someday." And they almost did, they have 8. Oh.
I thought it was the story about
That's
the
a good-
in-laws, my wife, and my sister's husband getting together and saying, "Does y'all's family always sing like this around the holidays?" And they were both like, "No." This is like totally weird to us.
Tell the rest of that. No, they sit around drinking margaritas.
Good old
Bloody
Baptist.
Mary.
Good old Baptist, right?
That was not our part of the family.
Oh, goodness. Well, we digress. But until then, my heart will go on singing. Until then, with joy I'll carry on. Until the day my eyes behold that city. Until the day God calls me home. For He alone is worthy. For He alone is worthy. For He alone is worthy. Christ the Lord will give Him all the glory. Will give Him all the glory. Will give Him all the glory. Christ the Lord. Oh, come, let us adore Him. Oh, come, let us adore Him. Oh, come, let us adore Him. Christ the Lord. Thank you all. Thank you for sharing with us today, and hope it's been encouraging to you. And I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my New Albany family, my museum family, and for the opportunity just to share this with you today. Thank y'all.